Strikes in the Gaza Strip after rockets were fired from the Palestinian-controlled territory. The Israeli military said it shot down 5 of the devices. The other landed in a field. The rocket attacks came after a deadly Israeli raid in the occupied West Bank on Wednesday. 11 Palestinians were killed in Nablus. Our Middle East correspondent Tom Bateman reports.
Another day of death and bloodshed in Nablus. The worst this city has seen since the depths of this conflict 2 decades ago. It started with Israeli undercover forces seen here entering the city in disguise. Then more raided. It was mid-morning, into streets packed with people, sparking gunfights with Palestinian militants. Troops opened fire and blew up a building in the old city. I was woken by an explosion and saw special forces with dogs, troops connecting wires, which I assume were for explosives, says Khalil Shaheen, who lives nearby. The destructive force of an Israeli rocket fired at a Palestinian house. Israel says its troops killed 3 militants of the Lion's Den group who refused to surrender. It wanted them over the killing of a soldier last year and for planning new attacks. But as paramedics struggled to move, more people were killed outside, gunmen and civilians, including a 72-year-old man. While others, apparently unarmed, were seen running away as gunshots were heard. Palestinian officials called it a massacre. In the hospitals, the wounded and their relatives pour in. 15-year-old Islam says he threw stones towards the soldiers. He got a bullet in the leg. His grandfather, Jafar Abu Aishi, tells me young and old were hit. They came in with so much rage, so much hatred against the Palestinian people. It's the first time I've known it like that since 2004, he says. Well, we're seeing more and more relatives arrive here, and on this ward alone, they are treating people in every room now with bullet wounds. One doctor I spoke to said this is one of the worst events of its kind he's seen recently. He called it a disaster. Thousands turned out for another day of funerals. The raid in Nablus is now the deadliest in the occupied West Bank in nearly 2 decades. Israel says it's been trying to stem the rise in Palestinian attacks on its streets. The northern West Bank's become home to growing militancy, with the official Palestinian leadership losing control here. Now the militant group Islamic Jihad is threatening retaliation. The scale of bloodshed shows recent international efforts to restore calm are failing. Tom Bateman, BBC News, Nablus.
Well, let's go to Gaza now and speak to our correspondent there, Rushdie Abu Alouf. Rushdie, Tom's report there describing what happened.